He's run for 3 days. He should be dead, she said. Her scout went pale. Beginning. The desert of Nerion stretched endlessly beneath a crimson sky. Its dunes sharp as blades, its winds filled with dust that cut into lungs like sandpaper. Few dared to cross it on foot. Even armored crawlers struggled after a day. Yet, from the top of the ridge, Captain Lyrave caught sight of something that made her grip the scope tighter. A man, not staggering, not crawling, but running. He had no crawler, no water tank strapped to his back, no shelter canopy dragging behind him, just a ragged figure sprinting barefoot across shifting sand, keeping pace with the shadow of the twin moons that swam above the desert. Her scout, a wiry woman named Shill, leaned in beside her. Captain, that's impossible. He's covering too much ground. No food, no rest. Lyra's throat felt dry just watching him. How long has he been out there? Shill glanced at her tracker logs, then froze. 3 days. The sensors picked him up at the southern range, 3 days ago. Lyra lowered the scope, slowly. Her face, usually unreadable, tightened. No one runs across Nerion for 3 days. He should be dead. Shill went pale, whispering as if the desert itself might overhear. Then what is he? Middle. The caravan of the outer colonies had been traveling for weeks, seeking passage to the northern enclave. They were refugees from the war fronts, dragging behind them crawlers patched with scavenged plating, families huddled in the shadows of worn banners. Lyra, once a captain in the coalition fleet, now led them as a mercenary protector. But survival was fragile here. Raiders haunted the canyons. The desert itself was enemy enough. When the running man appeared, Lyra sensed both danger and omen. Set perimeter, she ordered. No one approaches him until I say. The caravan bristled. Whispers spread quickly through the ranks. Some said the man was a ghost soldier, cursed to run forever. Others claimed he was a spy, his endurance a product of alien implants. Children pressed their faces to crawler windows, eyes wide with fear. That night, under the shelter of a rocky outcrop, the man came closer. He didn't walk like one near collapse. His steps were long, precise, each movement conserving energy in ways Lyra had only seen in trained military runners. Yet his skin, what little wasn't burned raw by sun, glowed faintly, veins shimmering with an unnatural light. Lyra confronted him at dawn. She waited with Shill and 2 armed guards near the caravan's edge. When he reached them, he slowed for the first time. He stood still, chest rising and falling, but not with the frantic desperation of a dying man. His eyes, an unsettling shade of silver, locked on Lyra's. You've been running for 3 days, she said. By every law of nature, you should be dead. The man tilted his head. Perhaps I am. Her scout Shill flinched, her hand tightening on her rifle. Lyra held steady. Name. Kale. His voice was gravel, yet carried an echo beneath it, as though 2 tones spoke at once. Why are you here? He looked past her, toward the caravan children peering from their shelters. Because what hunts me now hunts you. The attack came before dusk. Black shapes tore from the sky. Razorcrafts, sleek machines not flown by humans but by the Sin-born, the Coalition's greatest enemy. They were once human soldiers who'd surrendered their flesh for perfection of machine and code. Now they waged war across the colonies, converting or killing every living thing. Lyra barked orders, rallying the caravan's defenses. Her mercenaries fired plasma cannons from crawler mounts. Shields rose, humming with failing power cells. The refugees screamed as fire rained from above. Kale didn't hide. He leapt into the fray, his body moving faster than even the Sin-born skirmishers. His fist struck with bone-cracking force, shattering metallic exoskeletons. He moved not like a man, but like something beyond. His veins pulsed brighter with each strike, silver light flooding beneath his skin. By the time the Sin-born retreated into the night, leaving scorched sand and broken husks, Kale stood drenched in sweat but unbowed. Lyra approached him cautiously, her blade drawn. "You're not just human," she said flatly. Cale didn't deny it. "No, not anymore." "Were you?" He looked at her, silver eyes burning with both pain and something like sorrow. A weapon that ran away. They camped in uneasy silence that night. The refugees whispered prayers, grateful but fearful of their new protector. Children tried to creep close, fascinated by the glowing man, but their mothers dragged them back. Lyra sat across from Cale near the fire. "You've led the synthborn to us," she accused. "They were always coming," Cale replied. His voice carried the weight of someone who had seen far more than war. "I was made by them, grown from flesh, coated with machine, an experiment in endurance and survival. They sent me running across deserts, oceans, voids of space, until I broke. But I never broke, so I ran. And now they want me back. Because if I live, I prove they can make others like me." Lyra studied him carefully. "And if they can, then your people have no chance." For a long moment, the crackle of fire was the only sound. Then Lyra sheathed her blade. "Then we'll make sure you don't go back." Over the next days, Cale became both shield and burden. His strength was unmatched. When raiders ambushed, he tore through them with impossible speed. When the desert storms rose, he carried 3 children at once, outrunning sand cyclones. But with each display, fear grew. The refugees whispered that he was unnatural, cursed, perhaps already more machine than man. Some wanted him gone before he doomed them all. Shill cornered Lyra one night. "Captain, he's dangerous. You've seen what he can do. He isn't ours. He isn't even human anymore." Lyra's jaw tightened. She remembered the war, the betrayal of allies turned into synthborn. She knew Shill wasn't wrong. But she also remembered Cale standing in front of the children when the sky burned, shielding them with his own body. "He's dangerous," Lyra admitted, "but he's not the enemy." The true test came at the edge of the northern enclave. The synthborn launched a full strike. Massive walkers rising from the dunes, their silhouettes blotting out the horizon. The caravan had nowhere left to run. Panic surged like wildfire. Cale stepped forward. His silver glow pulsed brighter, veins now like rivers of light. He turned to Lyra. "This is where I stop running." She understood. His endurance, his endless sprint. It wasn't survival. It was postponement. He had always known he'd face them again. "No," she said sharply. "You'll die." "I should have died 3 days ago," he replied. "Maybe 3 years ago. But I didn't. I kept running so I could give this to you. A chance." Before she could answer, he surged forward, faster than human eyes could follow. Ending. The battle was a storm of fire and steel. Cale struck like lightning, weaving between walker legs, ripping through synthborn infantry. His light grew so bright it burned to the dust storm, guiding the caravan to retreat deeper into the enclave's shield range. Lyra and her mercenaries fought beside him, but it was Cale who bore the weight of the assault. Every time a synthborn aimed for a child, he was there. Every time a walker charged its cannon, he was already climbing its hull, tearing it apart with glowing fists. But the glow came at a price. His movement slowed, each strike costing him more. His breath turned ragged, his silver eyes dimming. At last, as the final walker collapsed in a shuddering explosion, Cale fell to his knees. Lyra reached him, catching his shoulders. "Stay with me," she urged. He gave a faint smile. No more running. His body flickered with light, then dimmed, leaving only a man, exhausted, broken, but human in his last breath. Lyra pressed her forehead to his. Around them, the refugees wept, some in grief, some in awe. Her scout Shill whispered, voice trembling. "He ran for 3 days. He should be dead. But he gave us all life instead." Lyra stood slowly, her jaw set. She looked at the survivors, at the horizon where the desert winds carried silence once more. "Remember him," she said. "He ran so we could stop running." And beneath the crimson sky of Nerion, the caravan moved on. carrying with him the memory of the man who should have died, but instead chose to fight.